Okay, these are gonna be the top three best decks that you guys can be using in the Frozen Peak. And the first deck we're gonna be using is this Giant Skelly deck with the Witch, which is super good in Arena 8. We're just gonna use the Giant Skelly at the back. This deck you want to play this deck pretty passive in single elixir time, and you can see the other guys just going in hard. It doesn't really matter if we take the damage. We're just going to try to overwhelm with the giant skeleton plus, which that's going to help us a lot on offense and defense. And right here our witch is putting work on his witch, and right now I do understand that my giant skelly is going to completely kill the wizard, so that's why I'm not going to use the prince behind the giant skelly. I'm just going to use the fireball here and fully counter the goblin bell. The witch, as you guys can see, is so good. It did over 500 damage right there. We're going to use the guards, and that should be pretty good against the wall breakers here. This is actually a pretty good start for us, just because we're just trying to feel out the deck and see what cards that he's going to be having right here. And I'm just going to giant skelly here to distract the witch, and our tower should be able to finish the witch completely. Okay, right here we're just going to use our bats, and the bats are going to fully counter the mini P.E.K.K.A, and that should be super good for the next push with the prince. I'm just going to play prince at the back. I think that's the best play here. We might have to fireball if he's going to give us more value, but I think the prince alone should kill it. The zap as well should be perfect against this Karmi. He's going to overextend with the wall breakers, and you never want to really do that, just because wall breakers are a card that you want to use to punish, and this guy's not playing it well at all. I'm just going to use my witch at the back. That's going to fully counter the goblin bell, and let's see what he's going to do. I think we can giant skelly right in front of the witch, and that should do a pretty nice job. He is going to use the arrows, which is going to be good for us because we can use the giant skelly and and the goblin bell right here. I'm going to pressure opposite lane just because he spent a lot of elixir, and watch this, guys. We're going to get so much value with the prince. I'm actually going to zap the witch, and that's going to let the prince attack the second tower and get the tower on the right as well, basically. And there's just like 30 seconds left. We have to play good defense and make sure we keep our tower alive, and we should get the second tower. We're just going to pressure here, and that should let us take the tower and the game up against this. All right, we found the second game, and I'm gonna showcase the second deck for you guys, and this is gonna be the log bait deck with the Valkyrie, just because I feel like the Valkyrie gets so much more value in Frozen Peak. I feel like it's better than the Knight right now in Frozen Peak. We're going to use a Valkyrie here, and he's going to overextend with the mini P.E.K.K.A. We should be able to fully counter with goblins here. Goblins should pull the mini P.E.K.K.A, and that's going to be nice for us. He's going to use arrows as well, so I'm going to pressure with the barbell and the goblin bell just because he did spend the arrows, and we should get some good value with the goblin bell. And this is very important. Every single time he uses a spell, you want to track it down and then use your goblin bell on offense, because that's going to be key here. He just used the arrows, and we identified that, and that let us get over 1,000 damage on the right side as we used our goblin bell, and that was perfect against this guy here. We're just going to use the Valkyrie. Valkyrie's super nice to clean up troops on the left side. He's actually going to use the baby dragon. We're going to use the Inferno Tower here, and that should fully counter the baby dragon, but I'm just going to use the barbell just because that's a better way of countering the baby dragon and the goblin and the spear goblins, just because that's just for 2 elixir, and that's going to be nice for us. We're going to use goblins here. We can use our archers off to the side just to make sure he doesn't get arrow value. And right here we're going to pressure with the Valkyrie plus the archers, and right now he did spend the arrows, and this is so key, guys. He spent the arrows, and we're just going in and pressuring him exactly when he doesn't have anything in cycle. And since he used just the arrows, we're able to identify that correctly and pressure him and get the tower on the left side. We're just going to use our goblin bell. Oh my god, our barbell doesn't even kill the goblins on the left, and we're so under level. But as you guys can see, this deck is super strong. Even if you're under level, it really doesn't matter. You're still gonna win games, especially if you understand his spells, and that should help you a lot in the Frozen Peak. I'm just gonna throw my goblin bell and secure the tower on the right side. Unless he arrows, he doesn't really arrow, but he's gonna use this Karmi, and that's gonna counter our goblin bell. His tower is basically done. There's like 71 health on the right side tower. We're just going to use our Valkyrie here on offense. I think we're just going to use Goblin Barrel as well, and we should take the tower on the right side. And our Inferno tower with 1 HP actually put in work against the Inferno, against the baby dragon, and we don't even give him the tower on the left side. I'm just going to play around and throw my rocket on defense for fun. Yeah, the game is basically done, and that's how you play this deck in Frozen Peak. Alright, we found the third game, and this is going to be the final deck that I want to share with you guys in the Frozen Peak. It's one of my favorite decks to use, and I actually used this deck to push in Frozen Peak. I did use a lot of Giant back in the day when I was in Frozen Peak, so I'm just going to use my Bomber at the back that should be able to fully counter the recruits. I don't really want to use my arrows because I think the Bomber should do a nice job just defending against most of the troops, but it looks like the Firecracker is going to go off to the back and we have to use arrows here. He's just gonna use barbs at the bridge, which is absurd to me because that's a bad play. You never want to use your barbs at the bridge like that. We're just gonna try to pressure just because he did use the barbs. I think we can go in with the Giant and the Goblin Barrel off to the right side because his counter to our Giant is the barbs. I think I'm just going to use Inferno here. Inferno should be nice against the baby dragon and the magic archer because it's going to distract both those cards. We can use our bomber safely to take out the magic archer on the left side. So I think he does have barbs in cycle, but I'm not going to play my Giant just yet because I want to pressure with my Goblin Barrel and see what spells he's going to be having against us. He's just going to recruits at the bridge. I don't understand why this guy's going in with the recruits at the bridge because this is a very bad play from him. We're just going to use Karmi right down the middle. That's going to fully counter the recruits on the left and right side. The Skarmy is so good in Frozen Peak. I think it's super good at baiting spells, and that's why I like using it in the Frozen Peak. He's gonna witch at the back, and let's see what we can do against the witch. I think we can just bomber here and use our barbs on defense against the witch. I think that should be a nice job, and that should be pretty nice against the witch. And we're going to use our barbs like this. That's going to fully counter the prince, and it's going to keep our bomber alive. I did misclick there and use the Goblin Barrel on defense, but it was basically over because I still had the bomber on defense right here. I'm just going to use my baby dragon. That's going to fully counter the barbs. We can use the bomber like this and use the arrows against the firecracker and the recruits, and there's no way he can really defend against our push on the left because we're going to pressure with the Giant once again on the right side as well. We have a bunch of cards stacked up. The push on the left, the push on the right. Which lane is he going to defend, bro? There's no way this guy's going to be defending the tower on the left and the right, and we're actually going to get the tower on the right side and get his tower on the left to just 55 health. And this dude's going to try his best to pressure us, but it really doesn't matter just because I'm going to use arrows like this and fully counter the troops on the right side. And that's how you play this deck in the Frozen Peak. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, take care, guys.